it is time for a new video, and today I'm doing my first 24-hour readathon in my new apartment. So if you didn't know, I just moved. I feel like I keep mentioning it, but I have been looking forward to this for honestly since before I even moved, cause like I just like filming is just such a big part of my life and something that I think about and look forward to so much. And I was just so excited to like film exciting things in here, and I have been saving some super exciting books for this one, and I'm just so ready to dive in. I just like for days I've been dying to finally do this. I had to finish some work first, and I actually still need to finish a little bit of it. I'm gonna start officially like a little bit later today. I need to figure out the exact time, but super soon. Obviously for you, it's gonna be in the next clip. So we're gonna start with a package. I ordered a book that I have been dying to read for months, it feels. I am not sure when it came out, but it is a book I'm sure, like, I just, you know what, I'm just gonna open this, and I am so beyond happy because it arrived yesterday, which was Saturday, and I'm not used to packages arriving on weekends. And so I kind of gave up, and I was like, I really wanted to start the readathon today, but I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to wait. And so let's open this. One of the first books that I'm gonna start. So yes, some physical reading is gonna be done in this video. I'm so ready to read this. I feel like I'm gonna fly through it. And so I'm so happy. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So that is Believe Me by Teramafi. So I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like, I don't know about that, but yeah, so if you're not familiar with this book and this series, this is like the last book in this series. The Shatter Me series officially started as like a trilogy, and then they kind of added another trilogy to that as like a continuation. And this is like a little sequel to that. That is a little novella from the male main character's point of view. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I just could not even, like, this, I think hopefully is just gonna be really cute and like about just the couple, being happy together. At least that's what I hope for. I don't know, like, and it's so funny because, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people adored the original trilogy, then they just did not care at all about the continuation. But if you didn't know, I've talked about it before, I completely fell in love with the second part of the series, with the second trilogy, cause like I don't know, like to me, like I fell in love with the characters and the message behind it all, and like just everything about it. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna shut up about this book now. I don't often read sequels in videos, or like I just kind of avoid it sometimes. However, this is clearly something I'm dying to read, and I just want to share the excitement with you. Even if you're not gonna read it or you don't know the series, hopefully it's gonna, like, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but hopefully it's gonna be entertaining to just watch me fangirl about it, So, yeah. Then I have actually 3 more main books that are physical books that I'm dying to get to. So the other main one that I was planning for this readathon specifically, and I've been, like, it's been killing me to resist reading it because I've had it for like at least a week, I don't know. And I am good at resisting things when I am really determined to like save them for some videos or whatever. But with this, it was so difficult. And that is Where Hope Comes From by Nikita Gill. This little book is a book I have been dying to get. I also really hope the background is not distracting. I feel like it's terrible to just have the like black screen of the TV, but let me know what you think about that. Anyways, Nikita Gill is my favorite poet, and this is a book that I think this is gonna be either one of my favorite collections by her or the favorite. I just think that the themes of this are everything that I need right now in my life. I think that everything that's going to be in this book are things that I desperately need to hear, and I'm so excited to inhale it. And um at first I was like, oh no, like I shouldn't include it in this readathon because like I want to savor it, but I'm gonna savor the fuck out of it in this readathon. I'm definitely gonna read the whole thing. I don't think I'm gonna be able to stop. I'm gonna highlight it and tab it and everything, and then I can reread it a bajillion times. Like, that is something I need to remember when I'm like, I shouldn't finish a book too fast. Like, I can literally finish it as fast as I want, and then I can always read it a million times again. I think this is going to be the first book that I pick up. So, yeah. Then I have another very exciting, very cute thing, and that is Wonder Cat Q-chan by Sasami Natori, Volume 2. I read this in, I think actually I read it in a 24-hour readathon as well, and it was super cute. It was super cute, and so I have Volume 2 and Volume 3 behind me, so I'm not sure if I want to read Volume 3 as well, because like a part of me wants to save it for later, but I definitely want to read this one. It is just super adorable, domestic, about our main character and the Wonder Cat, and it is just adorable. Like, that is literally all. Like, it's heartwarming and sweet. If you didn't know, I have two beautiful fur babies, and I had to move away from them, and that is honestly the hardest part about moving out, and I miss them so much. I think this is something I need. So that is happening. And then the last physical book that I have here that I got super excited for is Falling into Bed with a Duke by Lorraine Heath. So this is a historical romance. Lorraine Heath has absolutely become one of my all-time favorite historical romance authors, and I have a few of her books physically, and this is like the first one in a new series. And I just like, I don't know that much about it. I did read the synopsis today, but I think I'm just gonna, describe that to you later when I start the book. But I have been dying to read more historical romances again. So these are the physical books. All of them are really short except for this one. So I feel like, again, perfect for a 24-hour readathon. But there's one more book, I think. Maybe there's a lot of books, but I think there are other books that I have on audio that I'm dying to get to that I think I'm definitely gonna read as well, but I don't want to mention too many. I also feel like this has been long enough, but I will mention one more that I'm gonna read for 100%. And I think, is it called Below Zero by Ali Hazelwood? Ali Hazelwood obviously is the author of The Love Hypothesis, and the past 3 months there were 3 audiobook novellas that came out, and they're all quick, short romances that have been so much fun. I read the first 2 books already. I think I talked about those in other videos. I just loved them. They were just so easy to read and really short, but at the same time, the romances were still really strong, and it was just the best time. And again, it's obviously perfect for this readathon, and I've been wanting to read it since it came out. It was like last week, I think, and so it's finally happening. And I also have some other audiobooks that I want to read, but again, I think I'm going to mention that later on when I finish this one and read other things. And yeah, so those are the main priorities. I'm just so excited to do this. I have seriously been looking forward to it for so long. And so I hope you enjoy watching it, and I'm gonna catch up with you when I start reading and start the official readathon. So, very quick update. I was calling my mom, and we literally just finished our call at exactly 6 p.m. Like, literally exactly 6 p.m. And so that is the perfect sign that it's time to start the readathon. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start listening to Below Zero because I'm about to go make dinner, and I also have to wash the dishes. And another thing that I wanted to do is just like kind of tidy up around the apartment. And so I think I'm gonna do that while listening to that. So there's a high chance I'm gonna read the whole thing. So yeah, I'm super excited. I don't want to make this update too long because like I haven't read anything yet. Let's go read and eat, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
I can't see the issue. Yeah, believe me, I need to keep myself in line. But I don't need to kiss you. Hey, we can make it tonight, baby, that's just fine.
Hi everyone, so it's time for an update. Sorry about the lighting. I actually finished 2 things already, kind of like the shortest ones on my TBR, so we're going strong and I'm so happy. So I finished Below Zero. You know, like I told you, I started listening to it as I cooked and did the dishes and everything, and I normally I watch like an episode of a show or a YouTube video while I eat. And I usually like stop if I'm listening to an audiobook, I usually stop that and then switch to watching something. But I was just like so immersed in the book and the fact that I'm doing this readathon, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna keep reading as I eat. And sometimes it feels weird to me to like have, you know, like all the sound in my ears while eating. Like, I don't know, something about it feels a little strange sometimes, which is why I don't really do it. But it was completely fine. And I was just like, I just really enjoyed this book. It's basically about these two people who are both in STEM. That is the case for all of Allie Hazelwood's characters, I feel like, so far. Definitely every single one of the couples in this series. And there are like, you know, they do different like specific jobs and like parts of STEM, but it's all around there. I saw people mention in reviews that personally wasn't an issue to me, but I do want to mention it if that is something that, you know, someone would like to know maybe, is that it's true that all the books in this series feel very similar in the sense that the main characters are really similar and they all have like very similar dynamics and vibes. For me, I just had so much fun with all of them. You know that I love novellas. In this, the two of them basically like kind of meet through work that the hero is supposed to kind of help with something with the heroine, and then they kind of start making out, and after that the heroine basically tells the hero that like she just wants to hook up and she doesn't want any kind of a relationship. She tells him that she doesn't want him to take her to dinner and he actually is like, well, I can't do this. Like, he is a relationship guy. So then for a long time, they don't see each other. And then there's like a thing that turns it into like a slight hate to love vibe. And just something happens. I'm not gonna say anything more. Again, it's a novella. But yeah, it was just super fun. That's honestly, I think, all that I'm gonna say about that. I'm really sad because I think that this was the last one. And I really hope that there's gonna be more and that in general, Berkeley, the publisher of these books, is gonna do something like this for like some other authors as well. There are so many novellas in indie publishing, and I adore those. And I feel like there's basically almost none in traditional publishing. And so I hope that this is gonna, like, you know, push it forward a bit. And I also flew through Where Hope Comes From by Nikita Gill. And I promise I'm gonna actually update you while I read the books in this readathon, not just after I finish them, but you know, with these two, they were super short. And I just like with this one, I just got once again just like so immersed in it. And with poetry, it's kind of like an intense emotional experience, you know, and I didn't want to disrupt it. And I also feel like with poetry, it's really hard to talk about. So it's not like I have, you know, like the updates that I have halfway through are going to be the updates that I can tell you once I'm done with the book, if that makes sense. So it was like a tiny bit different from what I expected. So on the front here, it says Poems of Resilience, Healing, and Light. And I just saw that. Once again, I had the thought of like, this is exactly what I need right now. And that like is true. But the thing that like I kind of knew but didn't realize it would be such a big thing is that this book actually is quite a lot about the pandemic. And that is not a bad thing, obviously, but it is something that kind of took me by surprise. And I wasn't really prepared for that because, like, I don't know how. I think that a lot of people relate to the fact that I personally don't want to consume any type of media that deals with the pandemic. I definitely think that it should exist and like it's important, and I completely understand if people do want to read books about it that like feature it, that mention it or even like deal with it a lot, and like movies and whatever and like all those things. I understand its place, obviously, but like personally for me, I just don't want it. I want my fictional reading life to be free of that, if that makes sense. But I still ended up giving it 5 stars because I just love Nikita Gill so much. And there were a lot of poems that hit me so hard and resonated with me so much. So, yeah, even though it wasn't exactly what I expected, I absolutely loved it and I'm so happy that I got it. I am definitely gonna reread my favorite parts and I would recommend it. Just do be aware that it deals with the pandemic quite a lot. If you want to avoid that, maybe don't pick it up, but I still think it's such an impactful and beautiful poetry collection. So, out of all the physical books that I have here, I'm not sure which one. Oh, this is kind of like a pleasing color palette, but I'm not sure which one I want to start. I kind of feel like I would like to start this in the morning. With this one, I feel like what I'm going to do actually is start this maybe soon. I don't know if like the first thing that I do after this update is going to be starting this, but I do think I want to start it tonight. And so I think I'm going to start it a little bit and just finish it tomorrow. So that is that. And then believe me, I'm not sure. I'm so excited for it, obviously. But I think the issue is once again, something that I feel like I talked about, but I don't think I talked about it in here, is that I have this thing that I procrastinate so often on books that I just absolutely know I'm gonna love. Just books that I feel like are gonna be everything to me, new favorites, 5 stars, just perfection. When I get a really strong feeling of that, I procrastinate on reading it because I'm like, I don't want it to be over yet, even before starting it. And like, it's getting ridiculous at this point. Like, obviously, I just opened the package today, but it's a book I've been dying to read for so long, and I just need to read it. So, I don't know. I need to think about it because I'm not sure if I don't want to save this for tomorrow and just like also read this in the morning. Actually, you know what? I think I want to read this in the morning. If I feel like it tomorrow, I'm just going to add a little bit more time because I am gonna sleep. I didn't mention that, but I always sleep in readathons. And I also just like, when it comes to the time, this is something that I've mentioned before, I think, is like, I mean, obviously the fun challenge of a 24-hour readathon is to read, from like 5 to 5 or 8 to 8 or whatever. But I feel like sometimes, like, especially now, I just want to enjoy amazing books and share it with you. And I don't care if I stop reading at 5 or at 8 or whatever. So I'm gonna watch a movie. I'm not sure what that is gonna be either. So clearly I am doing amazing at making decisions right now.
We can make it tonight, baby, that's just fine. Don't know what I'm doing, feel like I am going crazy. Keep it down.
So it is time for a quick update. I'm still on the couch. I think this is gonna be my last update for the night because even though I'm not going to sleep just yet, I think I'm gonna move to bed soon and just, relax. I watched a movie and I ended up randomly picking, I think it was called Back in the Suburbs. It is basically like a Disney Channel movie from the 2000s. It was really fun. I have been wanting to watch movies from the 2000s for months, and I have watched a few of them, but I feel like I need to like take it further and actually like prioritize it. And I don't know why. You know, they're just like so fun and so easy to watch, and I can just turn off my brain. And the reason why I was also really interested in watching this is, first of all, I've actually never seen it before, and I didn't even know it was a thing before I saw it on Disney Plus. And I immediately was like, I have to watch it. I'm blanking on the actresses' names, which is horrible. I need to look it up after this update. But the two main girls in that movie are played by two actresses I love. And one of them is the actress who plays Caitlyn in The Flash. And I think like that is where I know her from. And I love her. Like, Caitlyn is one of my favorite characters. I love her in the show, and like I'm actually like a fan, you know, it's not just like an actor I know. And then the other main character, she is originally, I think she was the most in the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. But recently I saw her in a show called Dollface, which, if you don't know about it, it is absolutely amazing. I love the show. It's so fun. It is basically just super focused on female friendships. And like basically the main character in the show, she breaks up with her boyfriend. Like, he breaks up with her at the beginning, and then it's her just like getting over it and like healing and all of that. And then it's just like so focused on her journey of like, you know, like improving her life and like learning different important lessons. And then the friendships are at the core of the story as well. And it is just really fun and really amazing. And it's really unique as well in some of the like types of storytelling. So that's why I was just like, I have to watch this. And it was really fun. So that is the movie. And then I did start Wonder Cat Q-chan, and I got pretty much exactly halfway through. And so I'm really happy about that. That is what I wanted. So the thing that I think I'm gonna do next that I'm so excited for is there's a book that I forgot to tell you about, and that is the Romance Recipe by Ruby Barrett. So I basically started this book, so I already got to, I think, 30% before the readathon. Originally, I wanted to finish it before the readathon, but I just didn't have time. Again, like I had some work I had to do and whatever, and I didn't want to postpone the readathon. I also didn't want to rush reading the book because I'm fucking in love with it. And so I was going to include it in a vlog that is coming soon. That is gonna be, yes, another one of the vlogs where I'm catching up on my NetGalley arcs and reading my super anticipated releases. And so I started the Romance Recipe by Ruby Barrett, and that is one of my absolute most anticipated books of the year, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And so I didn't want to wait for until after the readathon to keep reading it, so I think I'm just gonna talk about it with you in here a little bit, and then talk about it and then mention it in that other video, because like I already did mention it in there. But anyways, I just have to read it, so I'm gonna be reading it. So this book is not out yet. I don't fully remember the release date, so I'm gonna look it up tomorrow so that I can let you know. But Ruby does have one book out that you can read right away if you haven't yet, and that is called Hot Copy. And I adored it. Like, I absolutely loved it. It is such an incredible office romance. If that is a trope that you like, you need to pick it up. And so it is like obviously a standalone series, so you can read them separately, but one of the side characters appears in Hot Copy, and then we see her in the Romance Recipe. And so the Romance Recipe is a sapphic adult romance that is basically about these two women, Amy and Sophie, and the two of them like work at a restaurant together. Amy basically owns the restaurant, and Sophie is like is it called head chef? The main chef. And I just love it. Like, oh my gosh, the restaurant setting, I adore it. The two of them, I'm in love. Their romance already is everything. And I just like, I'm obsessed. Like, I literally think this is gonna be my new favorite adult sapphic romance. and I'm just so happy. Like, I'm just so happy. So I have to read it. So I'm gonna make some progress with that. I don't think I'm gonna finish it tonight, but who knows? It's just bringing me so much joy, and like, I love Amy and Sophie so much, and um, even like already so far, it's also really steamy, which we don't always see in sapphic romance. So that is something that you're looking for as well. You have to pick this book up when it comes out, and it is everything. It is absolutely everything, and I'm so happy that I get to read it, and like, I just can't get over it. So I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna take off my makeup soon and get ready for bed, and I'm gonna catch up with you in the morning.
You look good, you know it. I can tell you're soaking up all of it now. Hey, listen to what I say. Let's get to it, and we won't tell nobody. Yeah, we won't tell nobody. Yeah. Hey, listen to what I say. Let's get to it.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is finally time for an update. So I haven't talked to you today at all yet. I kind of wanted to like wait to do my makeup or something, and now I was like, it's the afternoon. I don't know what time it is exactly. Maybe like 2 p.m. ish. But I'm finally doing an update. I have super exciting updates, so let's talk about it. So today I started my morning by picking up this adorable little book, and I finished it. It is just adorable and wholesome and sweet, and just like the first volume, it made me smile and laugh, and there are just so many little like cat moments that, you know, like that are just like so genuine and realistic, and it makes it so sweet and funny. And just like, if you have a cat or if you love cats, you absolutely need to get this. It's just so fun and amazing, and yeah, it is the exact same like the first volume in the best way. I highly recommend this manga series. And also, please let me know if you have manga recommendations. I only started reading them like last year, and there's just, you know, like so many that I have no idea where to start. The only one that I can think of that I read that I still need to finish actually is Sweat and Soap. It is so cute and fun, and like, I think especially like I'm looking for romance or just like anything like this that is just like sweet and fun and cute and lighthearted. That is my preference. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know. And then I finished The Romance Recipe by Ruby Barrett. Like, I didn't end up reading a lot of it at all yesterday, and I ended up just watching a little bit of TikTok and sleeping. I actually only watch TikTok like when I'm in bed and about to sleep, which I know is probably dumb, but I just don't like watching it at any other point of the day because I feel like I just don't want to get stuck in the loop of watching and watching, not being able to stop. So yeah, but I just picked it up right after Wonder Cat, and I couldn't stop. Like, I literally, like I said, I got to a little bit over 30% before the readathon, and I pretty much read the entire like 70% left today, and I just inhaled it. And I definitely think that it's like a new favorite adult sapphic romance for me. And I think there was one thing that I actually didn't describe or tell you about the plot, which is that the restaurant that Amy owns is struggling. They just are not making enough money, and they're not really able to like pay rent. They basically end up applying to this new TV show all about like food and like stuff like that. It is basically like cooking for this celebrity chef. And you know, so they sign up to that because like just to save their restaurant. And so originally I thought that that like would be a big part of the story, and I'm not going to tell you any details about it, but it's not a big part of the story at all. So the whole book pretty much is around the restaurant and the romance between Sophie and Amy. And I just loved the romance so much. It was just so sweet and steamy, and just like the way that they fell in love was just so beautiful, and I just adored it. It was just absolutely incredible, and I loved it so much, and I can't wait for any other books that Ruby writes in the future. I'm gonna have a look at what the exact date is, like I told you I would. So on Goodreads it says June 28th, so that is quite a bit away, but definitely make sure to add it to your TBR, and it's gonna be worth the wait, trust me. So that is the main thing that I finished, but then I picked up a book that I kind of thought about before, that like I would read it in the readathon, but then I wasn't sure because like the audiobook is really long, and so I was like, I can't read that because I don't have time. And so when I was like cooking and washing the dishes, I was like, I was planning on reading like another short novella audiobook, but then I was just like, you know what? I want to read this book, and that is The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. So I am so happy that I made that decision. And you know, like it is always my tendency to like pick up the shortest books for readathons, and I want to learn to not always do that. Like obviously, you know, like the comic books and manga and poetry and like all of that, like I do love reading that in readathons. Like I always save them for that because like it's just fun and satisfying, and it makes you feel like you're making progress. But at the same time, I really want to find a balance between that and longer books. And like I think I already kind of mentioned, I think I'm just gonna keep on reading until like the evening, or maybe just, you know, even like until the night, because again, I slept for quite long until like 10. And so I'm gonna just add more time, and that way I can read this book and maybe even finish it because I'm enjoying it so much. So this is yet another adult romance, and it is the sequel. Again, it's a standalone, so we can read them separately. But the first book is The Worst Best Man, which I loved so much when it came out, and I read it around then. And I have been highly anticipating The Wedding Crasher because, again, I loved The Worst Best Man. And I actually, like a week or two ago when it came out, I didn't know it was coming out already. And I saw it on Twitter and I was like, oh my God. And the audiobook is on Scribd. And there are actually multiple romances that are recent releases on Scribd that I've been dying to read, but I was like, I shouldn't include it in the readathon again because they're too long. But we're including this, and I'm so happy. And I also just want to mention really quickly that I know that I mention Scribd all the time, and I never really explain what it is, and that's just because I talk about it so much that I expect people to know, but I'm sure that not everyone still knows. So it's basically an app. It's not sponsored, I fucking wish, because I really love Scribd so much. And so it is an app that you can download on your phone, and it's basically like a library on your phone, but it's not connected to any actual libraries, but like that is, I feel like, the easiest way to describe it. You can read as many audiobooks and ebooks as you want on there, and there are audiobooks and ebooks. I do mainly listen to audiobooks on there, but there are quite a few ebooks as well. It's like, I think, $9 per month, and so it's literally like the price of one book for as many as you would like. And the wonderful thing about it is as well that like there are so many new releases as well. Like The Wedding Crasher literally came out last week, and it was immediately on there. So many other books as well. The new Tessa Bailey book is on there. And just like they literally have almost everything. So many books. And so I feel like, to me, you know, like I can't afford to buy all those books physically. And so it is wonderful that I still get to read new releases through this. And it's also like, you know, people often say like, you know, support your local library, and that's super important. But obviously not everyone can access a library. So definitely try the app out. You can get a free trial. I always have a link down below if you want to do that. It is a 30-day free trial. This really sounds like a sponsorship, but it really is not. No one wants to sponsor me. But I'm just really passionate about it, and seriously like the best thing that I've ever found. So yeah, anyways. The Wedding Crasher, let's talk about it. So it's basically, it starts by the heroine basically crashing the hero's wedding, that he was literally ready to get married to this girl, and the heroine hears this girl talking to this guy. Basically, it's clear that there's something happening between the two of them. Yeah, she like witnesses that, and they see her, and the bride begs her not to like tell anyone, you know. And so she goes through with the wedding almost, but then the heroine basically stops it. And then the two main characters end up fake dating. And it sounds like, you know, why would that be a thing? But they indirectly know of each other. And the hero just kind of needs to say something at work, and he panics and he tells them about her. They kind of become friends, but you know, obviously they keep telling each other like it's just fake, it's not real, like that whole typical thing in fake dating, and things go on from there. And it is just so fun and lighthearted and easy to read, and I'm just so invested, and it's just a fun time. Like, yes, so I'm loving it. I do think I'm gonna take a little bit of a break because I think I'm gonna switch to Believe Me finally. I do have a bookmark in it, but I literally read 2 pages yesterday, and then I was like, you know what? I want to read it in one sitting, and so I think that is what I'm gonna pick up next. And yeah, I've actually been loving every single thing that I've been reading, and this readathon is going so well. And I'm even more happy because like I have been slightly struggling with reading lately, that like first I didn't have time because of moving and whatever, all of that, you know. And then I just like kind of haven't figured out a routine to read now in my new apartment. I think that is all for now. I haven't started falling into bed with a Duke yet. I really want to. Like, I think my goal for today is gonna be to just start this at least. But again, like I still have quite a bit to read of The Wedding Crasher, so we'll see if I'll have time for it. But yeah, I do think that Believe Me is gonna be a super quick read. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna update you while I read. There's a high chance I'm just gonna want to inhale it in one sitting. I'm gonna shut up now and update you when I do some reading.
We won't tell nobody, yeah, we won't tell nobody, yeah.
Hi everyone, so it is a while later, and it is 6:30 p.m. and I finished Believe Me, and I obviously absolutely loved it. I didn't doubt it for a second, to be honest, 'cause I just knew it would be exactly what works for me personally. And it was just all that I expected and wanted, and I'm really happy. So I'm not gonna go into detail about like what the book is about or anything like that, but because like I don't want to spoil anything, and I know that like the series has been out for ages, and I don't know if like a lot of new people are reading it. I don't know, but I still don't want to spoil anything. So it's just about our main couple finally getting their happily ever after, and it is super focused on the characters. There's not actually anything that happens in the plot, only very little things that are just like focused on all the characters. And so this is not a book that is about anything specific besides the main characters figuring out a few of their issues and just finding happiness together. There are so many sweet and beautiful moments, and I just loved it. If you are in the middle of the series, or if you finished it but don't know if you should read this, I think this is just a book for the hardcore fans that just love the characters, love the thought of, you know, having the point of view of a character we adore, and just like if you really care about the characters and you just want to see them happy and have some lovely moments, this is for you. If you are in the series for the plot and dystopian vibes and whatever, then this is not for you. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I flew through it. I inhaled it like I expected. I definitely want to read this again. And the thing is, like, the way that, like, I loved it so much because this series is dystopian and everything is just so fucking intense, and there's just like so many painful things happening, and like the characters are constantly in danger and all of that. And this book was just like they're safe now and they get to be happy. And that to me was just perfect because I never read it for dystopia. I actually really hate dystopia. I just stayed in it for the characters because I love them. So that is that. And I did actually pick up Falling into Bed with a Duke. I am just not sure if I'm going to read any more of this, but like I said, even though I read the tiniest bit and I can't even tell you much more about the book, I wanted to start it, so I did do that. So I actually read 3 of the 4 physical books that I planned on, and I started the fourth one. That has literally never happened. I always say a million physical books that I want to read, and it's a miracle if I even read one of them. So I'm just really happy and really proud of myself. And yeah, so now I kind of feel like I definitely want to take a break and just like watch some YouTube or something. And so I think I'm going to do that. And so I don't know how much more I'm going to read tonight. I really wanted to finish The Wedding Crasher. I think I could still do that, but at the same time, I don't want to force it and like push myself to finish it just so I can talk to you about it. So again, I'm going to talk to you later when I figure out what I'm doing and all of that. It's like a week later. I ended up just, I crashed and burned in the end. And I think I told you that I wasn't sure if I was going to read anymore, and I think I didn't. But I can now update you on my thoughts on The Wedding Crasher anyways. I think I finished it like the day after the readathon, so I didn't read the whole thing officially in the readathon, but I'm always happy when I can wrap up my thoughts on books. I don't like leaving them unfinished. And so I finished it and I ended up giving it 4 stars. I enjoyed it a lot. It was just such a wonderful romance. I loved the main characters. It was just so fun and sweet and steamy, and I just rooted for them so much. And if you like fake dating and kind of like friends with benefits a little bit, also if you like the trope of like a main character being like, I don't want to fall in love, I don't want a relationship, it's not for me, and then falling in love and getting in a relationship, that isn't here. And so I did give it 4 stars and not 5 stars because I do think it was a little bit too long, and like there were parts in the second half that felt kind of slow, and the audiobook was really long. And yeah, but besides that, it was just amazing and I definitely recommend it. And so yeah, I think hopefully that is all that I needed to update you on. I hope you enjoyed this readathon. I'm definitely planning on doing many more of them. And again, I started Falling into Bed with a Duke, didn't finish it. However, I think I'm gonna read it in a vlog soon. There is also the historical romance readathon that's happening soon. Again, which I'm so happy about. It is a readathon that I love. I participate in it every single time when I can. And so I might read it in there, maybe even sooner than that. So yeah, I feel like this readathon was just so successful and I had so much fun. I actually read the books that I wanted to read, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. So if you made it this far in the video, leave a tree emoji down below, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!